Hi guys and girls, anybody out there in the riding community, Rodney here. I've got a 2019 KTM 250XC and I wanted to kind of give you an update on some of the mods that I've done to the vehicle. I'm sure that there's a lot of you out there that are probably thinking the same thing and want to maybe kind of do some mods to yours as well. Obviously, we're riding in an OHV area, so we have to have the spark arrestor. So I did add the Turbine Core 2.1 FMF slip-on. So that takes care of my spark arrestor. I did just change the tires. Now they come with Dunlop AT81s. I've never been a fan of the AT81. I've had it on two of my previous Hondas. There's a time and a place for that tire. When it's muddy out, when it's wet, going over some rocks, going over tree roots and whatnot, it's actually a pretty good tire. Not a big fan of the front, but the back actually worked pretty well. They tended to hold up pretty well, so I got pretty good life out of it. I put right at 20 hours on the bike, and like I said, it was time for a change. Take my goggles off here. What I've done to it recently is I just revalved the front suspension. I had Factory Connection do the suspension for me. They put a performance kit. What the performance kit does, and you probably already are aware if you have the AER 48 forks, you can set the air pressure to match your spring rate. But then it's always a little bit harsh, especially if you're coming off of, say you're on the gas and you hit a slight bump, it gets pretty harsh there in initial impact. And so what the performance kit does is it makes it a lot softer on the very initial stroke there. And then give it a little more bottoming resistance as well. So anyway, really happy with that. I kind of felt like I lost a little bit of traction, and that could be the sag. I need to go back and double check that and make sure that that's not off a little bit. When they do the performance kit, they actually increase the air pressure, which I thought was a little strange because I didn't think that would change the spring rate that much. But they told me where I normally would run 136, they told me to go up to 142. So I ran the 142, extremely soft on the initial part of the stroke, and then it got kind of harsh about 4 to 5 inches in. And so they told me to maybe back the pressure or the air pressure off just a little bit. And so I ran it back down to 140. What else have I done? Oh, I just added a Honda progressive steering dampener. I don't know if you can see it inside there. I ran them on my Hondas, and obviously this doesn't take the place of like a Scott stabilizer. This isn't going to change head shake, and I didn't have an issue with head shake to begin with. What I was having an issue with is every time you would hit a bump or like a rock or something, it would deflect and want to cause your handlebars to just kind of turn on you real quick. And so the Honda progressive steering dampener actually does cut that down. I've got it on there right now. I'm running the 22 inch. They actually make or 22 millimeter. They make a 24 as well, which I was running on my Hondas. And but they say that if you're using it for off-road, this is actually better. So anyway, happy with that. You know, other than that, I really haven't done a lot to the bike. Obviously I put some graphics on it. Oh, I did just put in a JD jetting kit. Man, what a world of difference. On the JD jetting kit, I was always having some, like, I want to call it like sputtering down on the lower RPMs. And once you hit the top end, it just screamed. There was no problem with that, but it was always on the lower end. So by putting the JD jetting kit, obviously they come with two different needles and a few sets of, you get a pilot jet and a main jet that comes with it. When you put it in for the elevation that you're riding at, man, it gives you more bottom end torque. It runs crisp all the way through the range. So really happy about that. The other thing too is it actually seems like it gets better economy with the new jetting kit. So obviously last time I rode, it didn't seem like I used near as much gas. So anyway, happy with that. But anyway, today I just put on these new tires. So these are Dunlop Geomax MX 53s. I ran the 52s, and that's what actually came on my Honda RX. Ran the 52s. I liked the front tire okay. The back tire was mediocre. Got pretty good life out of it, so that was okay. But here where I'm at right now, in the summertime, in spring, it gets pretty dry. And so you see a lot of gravel roads. The roads get really dusty. They're hard packed. And so, you know, an intermediate to a hard packed tire is actually really good in the summertime. So we're in the spring now, and it was time to put some new tires on it anyway. So I'm going to give these a try. My initial impression, it does have bump absorption, so that handles it better than the AT81s that were on it. Right now, and I understand they're a hard pack tire, or intermediate rather, But right now, when it's hitting rocks and roots and stuff, it has a tendency to just kind of deflect off of it, or maybe slide off of it. And part of that could be just, you know, just the initial wear. You know, maybe once they get the initial worn in, it would be okay. But and then the other thing too is I'm not 100% sure on my air pressure. I brought the wrong air gauge today,